over the phone this morning as we deliberate on the issues in the news. Well, a reminder that would also do well to look at the budget defense highlights as filed in by our FCT correspondent, which makes one of the headlines this morning, particularly on the Daily Times newspaper, where the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike defended the 1.78 trillion naira budget. And he is talking about a chunk of that budget going for capital projects. To be specific, 85% of the 1.78 trillion naira FCT budget would be for completion of ongoing projects. And to his credits, ever since he assumed office, he has been adamant about project completions with major infrastructure developments in the city center and the suburbs. Now, this morning, joining us over the phone is Lukman Laleye Babaola, a public affairs analyst who joins us to share his thoughts in reaction to the stories making the rounds. Hello, good morning to you, Mr. Babaola.
Hello, good morning.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you join us on the program this morning. Let's begin with a look at some of the stories making rounds in the news this morning. Is firstly, the news that the African Democratic Congress, ADC, might just be the coalition party for opposition leaders to pitch their tents on. And we heard the former Kaduna State Governor and Minister Nyesom Wike talking about the coalition party's resolve to send President Tinubu back to Lagos. In your opinion, the ADC, the right's opposition platform? Hello, Mr. Babaola, are you with us? Can you hear me? It may seem as though Mr. Babaola is having difficulty hearing me. I'd like to get his thoughts on the ADC being the opposition platform reported by major newspapers this morning. And if you would recall, historically, the ADC has always been a coalition party of sorts in Nigeria's electoral history. Now, this morning, more news is that it is the much sought after opposition bride, and particularly the former VP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and the former governor, Nasir El-Rufai, most vocal about their position on challenging President Bola Tinubu come 2027. Now, previously, the fringes of national politics with the ADC as the coalition leaders on Tuesday night described it as the official birth of the coalition. Now, it's been led by the former Vice President, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, formerly Atiku's running mate, Mr. Peter Obi, and notably former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, formally announced that the party would also be meeting today to resolve its position going forward. And these talks are based on the fact that it was initially linked with SDP. You remember the Social Democratic Party welcomed the former Kaduna State Governor and Minister Nasir El-Rufai following the announcement of his defection from the APC. Now, the SDP appeared to be the front runner after the former Kaduna State Governor defected from the APC. But in this new wave of more defections and the need for a coalition party, it is indeed news that the ADC now is the chosen frontier for the parties to merge on. And whilst we're still looking to attempt to rejoin Mr. Babaola this morning, is with news that the party is also set to meet today to receive reports from negotiating teams on ratifying the position of the coalition. Hello, Mr. Babaola, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right,
thank you for having me.
I was asking you, following the news that opposition leaders have chosen the African Democratic Congress as the coalition platform, what do you make of the news, and do you think that the calibers of former VP Atiku Abubakar, Governor El-Rufai, and Peter Obi might just be able to form the much-needed opposition for the APC going into 2027?
Yes, it's a good development because I think the coming together of Peter Obi, Mr. Peter Obi, and the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, including the former governor of Kaduna State, the almighty El-Rufai. We are expecting something like that, and it's a good development because we can't afford to have one party that is one party system in Nigeria. So coming together of these big wigs in political big wigs is a good development, and I hope they will be able to work together and to achieve the common goal.
In the hope of working together, it's about positions. Who do you think would be the flag bearer, and who, in your opinion, would be VP? Because we heard Mr. Peter Obi say that he would not accept the VP position. That the only coalition he's looking forward to is a coalition against hunger, poverty, and one that ends bad governance. So in this sharing formula, what's your calculation, or what are your postulations as to how the ADC might allow?
Yes, to be honest with you, ADC is, I can say, is formed by the former president, allegedly formed by the former president, vice president Atiku Abubakar. Because I remember when he was coming up with the party to join then when he was coming out of PDP. So he was more of a financial, what was it called? That's a financier of ADC. So if now he's coming up, I hope he should be able to drop his ambition of becoming president come 2027. If he can drop the ambition and probably they work together and pick somebody from the southern Nigeria, it will be for their own interest and for the interest of Nigerians. Because my fear is that he may decided to run again, and that will not be the best for the coalition.
Now, the ADC has its national chairman, Mr. Ralph Nwosu, who also, in some way, is taking the credits for being the founder of the ADC. On your report of Mr. Atiku being the financier over time of the ADC, I don't know if that would also sway his position to being the presidential candidate of the party or the coalition party going into 2027. But do you think that the national chairman would be much enlarged with that position of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as their presidential candidate?
Well, the truth of the matter is this: they can, since it is coming together of different political interests, so they can work together and kind of rearrange the structure of ADC. It's not necessary that they must use the platform of ADC, so they can change. That's just like as it happened during the coming together of ACN and CPEC and the rest then. So, and they came together and formed APC. So something like that can come up. So it's not necessary that ADC should hold the yam and also the knife.
Now, moving forward, Babachir Lawal has also talked about the position of the PDP, which was part of the parties that should collapse the structure to join the ADC, saying that the PDP's troubles might be a carryover going into the ADC. How does the coalition party avoid this ongoing internal rancor in the PDP as it forms its coalition?
To the best of my knowledge, the PDP will not join them because they also there's a rumor that the president of Oyo State governor, that's Seyi Makinde, is nursing the ambition of becoming a presidential candidate for PDP come 2027. So I don't think APC will join them, join the coalition.
Now, talking about the governor, Seyi Makinde, he's also captured on the front pages this morning, and he was more or less telling the PDP and APC that going into 2027 is not about defections, that it is indeed hungry Nigerians who would hold the ace, saying that they'll be going against Nigerians who are not happy with the state of the economy. Is this statement to be taken lightly? Do you believe that the Nigerian voters indeed would be the deciding factors, not this political bigwigs we see defecting towards the ruling APC?
2027 election is a kind of Nigerians versus APC. So Nigerians will decide who to rule us and come 2027. So it's not about party. It's about people. It's about what is happening, the reality on ground. So and the people will decide this time around.
But Mr. Babaola, we've seen the history of Nigerian elections. We know how vital endorsements are. And when you find opposition governors defecting to the ruling APC, it may seem as though they would be coming with the force of swaying loyalty from their state actors and also influencing their voting populations in their respective states. You don't think that this would form much of, say, an upper hand for federal might going into 2027?
Let me tell you this: the defection we are witnessing on a daily basis is about the interests of the people concerned, not about the interests of the people. That's the general public. So it's not about Nigerians. It's about their own interests. For some of them, they believe that yes, they've failed woefully, being in that particular party. So they want to switch to the ruling party, just like it happened in 2015.
Is this for
and we had a Buhari tsunami.
This defection, do you think it's to guarantee their return tickets, or why do you think that they're defecting?
Yes, that is their thinking, and that will not be the reality when it comes to 2027. It won't happen like that. People will know we've planned, and we made to understand that they are only having their own interest. It's their own interest they are fighting for, not the interest of the people that voted them. So because how can somebody from you were voted on the platform of PDP, you now switch to other party because you want to continue to retain that of a particular position. So because you have been promised that don't worry, when you cross over to our party, you have your automatic ticket. Automatic ticket in the interest of who? So it can't be the business as usual. I can assure you that.
Now, the other story making the rounds is news concerning a midterm review summit, one to be convened by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today at the presidential villa. We hear that APC chieftain, governors and ministers are supposed to converge to assess how far the renewed hope agenda has carried Nigerians 2 years into his first term as president. What are some of your assessments of the performance of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu midterm and expectations of this summit?
Well, we can say, I don't think for now I can, because so many things has gone wrong. So for me, I've not seen what they have done that I can say I can score them high. So maybe with whatever they are telling us now, we can, as time goes on, we can see the changes. But for now,
let's look at some of the trumpet blowing statistics that the APC government is reeling out to Nigerians. First on the list is that they have curbed our national debts, cleared some of the debt we incurred during COVID-19. What do you make of this report? Is it a plus?
But they claim that they've cleared it, but we still have the what's it called, the outstanding interest of about 190 billion or so. So, but they are celebrating, telling Nigeria they have cleared all the debts, so which is not true.
But the effort in clearing some of it, should it be applauded? Is my question.
Well, we thank them for doing that, but they should do more. We expect more from them, because what they promise is not what they are doing now. They promise to do to make Nigeria better than what we were before, but now what we have now is even worse than what they met on ground.
Now they talk about something that hasn't been done before the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, at least successfully, in terms of the student loan scheme, listing the number of beneficiaries that have benefited from that. Let's be factual in our assessment of the government. How would you rate the student loan scheme?
Just like we had recently, that the fund were being siphoned by some of these administrators in our tertiary institutions. So, well, I don't think it has achieved its aims. So, but though they denied that nothing like that happened. So I think it's a good one, it's a good initiative, but there should be proper monitoring and implementation. So the federal government should involve uh, independent, I can say the people that who can do it better. That is most of some of these experts who are conversant with what is happening in the educational sector should be involved, not necessarily government employees. So for us to know what is happening there, because all this noise going about that the money has been been tampered with, that those who are meant to get the fund, the loan, are not getting it. So all this noise should not be there. The loan should be something of positive interest, not the other way around.
Now, in keeping with other interventions of the government, one of the most worrisome statistics is where our inflation rate is, particularly even with food inflation. In states like Benue, owing to the recent statistics released by the MBS, food inflation is way at 51.1% in Benue. In a bid to bring down inflation, how would you advise that the CBN adjust some of its indicators?
I didn't get you. Can you come again?
Talking about inflation and where food inflation particularly is in Nigeria right now, in states like Benue,
Okay.
it's as high as 51.1%. How do you advise
Okay.
that the government approach the core to tackle inflation?
Well, I wouldn't say much on that because I'm not an expert in the
Economics.
economy. Yes.
Well, let's spare your blushes and move on to another issue in the news this morning. It's back to the 2025 budget. I don't know if you saw the reports making the round. Budget
Yes.
released a report that somehow 11,000 plus projects worth over 6.9 trillion were inserted into the 2025 budget. In reaction to that, Mr. Peter Obi this morning making headlines calling on the National Assembly to respond to allegations of misappropriation and budget padding. What do you make of this report, and how do you highlight or assess Mr. Peter Obi's calls?
That has been the practice. You know, every year, every budget year, we get stories on budget padding. So I think National Assembly to need to come out and tell us why it has been their practice every year. Once we have budget, there must be a story of negative story on padding and all sort of things. So it shouldn't be when you claim that you are budgeting so trillion for Nigeria. So why inserting those ones that will serve your own interest, not the interest of Nigeria? So they should tell us. They should come out and clear the hair and let us know why it has been the issue every year.
Now, the challenge with the budget as well is the budget cycle. There's been much conversations on the need to keep with the January to December budget cycle. But as it is,
Yes.
the 2024 budget had to be extended by a month. We're yet to even begin the implementation of the 2025 budget, and we are deep into the month of May, just about 1 week to the end of the month. Do you
Yes.
also see this as some of the reasons why there might be lapses in some of the budget implementations and oversights?
That lies on the executive arm of government, because I think the December to January to December budget cycle is the best. I remember those days when we were young. That during the military era. It's always like, okay, January to December. So the implementation lies on the executive. So they should be up and doing and ensure proper implementation of budgets once it is passed. So I believe they have the proposal and other things on ground. So it shouldn't be delayed. There should not be delays, so to say. So it lies on them and the Mr. President.
Now, let's even narrow it down to the FCT. Yesterday, our reporter filed in a report. We'll take a look at that report if it's available in a bit. The FCT minister talking about the need to use 85% of the 1.75 trillion naira budget for completion of projects that, up until his administration, in the FCT were not completed. What do you make of that?
Okay. You made the minister said what?
The FCT
the line is
minister,
breaking.
he was defending the 1.75 trillion naira budget for the FCT yesterday,
Okay.
and he says that he intends to prioritize 85% of that budget on completion of projects.
Okay. Yes, that's a good one because apart from the fact that the minister, having issue with the state this thing, so the man is trying, at least in terms of infrastructure. So you should complete all the abandoned projects, even to me, before embarking on the new ones. So and the new ones is that is proposing or he has been working on. He should make sure that he finishes it before the end of his tenure. So I give kudos to him. So he should concentrate on completion of abandoned projects.
Now, on concentrating on that, we also ask if there shouldn't be a probe on past FCT ministers and why those projects have not been completed. Some of them dating back to over a decade since they were awarded and then approved.
Okay, when we say we probe, it's always like that. But at the end of the day, what will be the results? We wasted much on the issue of probing the past administration, past minister, past this. But there won't be any implementation at the end of the day. The report will not be implemented. You only had that, yes, so person embezzled so amount, misappropriated so amount. But what happened to the person? Because to me, I don't even see that as a priority. Probing the past administration should not be the priority.
So do you think this is why sometimes we have issues of financial rascality on the part of executives, whereby they know that even if they misappropriate these funds, nothing will be done about it, despite the agencies we have saddled with a fight against anti-graft?
The truth of the matter is this. We have Office of the Auditor General of Federation, we handle with the responsibility of getting this in, when you a certain amount is appropriated, and they should ensure that yes, truly is being implemented fully. So I think it is high time the executive arm of government should involve judiciary, those one that is those one who are not government employees to monitor all these things, so that to ensure fairness and full implementation of budget. So if you know that somebody outside an outsider will check you, you do your best and put your best to whatever they are doing. But when it's within the government, the EFCC and the SCPC, they are still government agency. So what do you expect? So especially if the person involved is in the ruling party, nothing will happen. At the end of the day, the person will just go free and the recklessness will continue.
Now, let's also talk about the performance of the FCT minister in his first term as minister of the FCT. Much appraise has been on his focus on infrastructural development. He's gotten the nickname Mr. Projects. But when you look at the strike actions in the health and education sectors in the FCT, it's worrying. Do you think that there's been less attention on education and health and more focus on infrastructure on his part?
Yes, I think we need to give him that kudos. He's trying, but he should just work on not only infrastructure. He should focus more on other issues like education, health, and others. So it shouldn't be about the project of constructing road and other other infrastructure. So it should also take a critical look on how to improve the health facilities and even education, because the other time the primary school teachers were on strike. So it should not base it on okay, yes, I constructed this or did this. No, it's beyond that. So, but I still give that this thing to him. He's trying, but he should do more.
I don't know if the report is ready. Would love to take a look at the report as filed in by a correspondent as it concerns the FCT minister's budget defense. However, if it's not ready, we might just move on to the next issue in the news.
Okay.
I doubt it's ready. So let's move on to the next issue in the news. It's the fight against terrorism in the Northwest. The Borno State Governor this morning, Babagana Zulum, made hefty allegations alleging that some politicians and soldiers are Boko Haram informants. He called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to stop listening to sycophants, that he should listen to the military if we are to win the war against terrorism in Nigeria. What do you make of his allegations?
We can't disagree with him. He's on the ground there, and the governor has been moving, spending nights with the people in the affected areas. So even with our security men, he has always been with them, visit the theater command, and to see things and get first-hand information. So we can't say that he's not saying the truth. I believe he's saying it from the experience on what he has witnessed. So it is now behold on Mr. President to do the needful.
Now, the challenge with it is now that we have news that some of these terrorists even have more sophisticated weapons than the Nigerian military. What do you make of this disturbing news, and how do you think that this issue can be better tackled?
No, that is far from the truth. Nigeria armed forces are well equipped. I've been on the tour to some of these theater command as well in the Northeast. So I have seen so many things that we have in the military there. So I believe they are not the non-state actors are not well equipped more than they are not equipped
Mr.
more
Babaola,
than.
I don't know if you've seen the videos making the round. Some of these terrorists have RPG, and they are now using militarized drones to carry out the attack, meaning that they don't even have to be physically on ground to cause harm.
Most of these video at times, the people just pick some video from other country being affected by insurgency. They just copy it and start posting it up another years. This is Nigeria. So at times I don't believe in all these video, because when you check critically, you understand that these are not those one in the video, they are not even related to Nigeria, the even environment there. You understand? So at times people use that video to discredit the armed forces.
We've also seen attacks on military bases in Maiduguri, quite sadly,
Yes.
where soldiers have lost their lives. Why do you think that these insurgents are so bold enough to now attack military bases?
I think what we need to do, or what we need to tell the people residing in those places to know that insurgency is not all about Nigeria alone. It's affecting them. They are giving information to all these bad guys, all these actors. So, and the military, they are not spirits. At times, most of these things, when the locals give information to those guys, they may attack them, unaware, and these things happen, when they have lost guard, so to say. So I think the something that has to do with the community there, those who have turned to informants for the bandits and insurgents.
Well, Mr. Babaola, I must thank you for your time on the program. As much as you say you're not so vast with the economic position of the government.
Pardon me for that.
No problem. It's part of the honesty that we appreciate when we talk to news analysts much like yourself. But we thank you for taking our time to be part of the program this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Always
Have a great day.
You too. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.